Monday, April 13th, 1992 will long be remembered by Chicagoans as the day of the Great Loop Underground Flood.
People were like, what flood? Because you couldn't see anything at street level. Everything was fine.
At Kinzie Street, Mayor Richard M. Daley had arrived at the scene of the damaged tunnel.
By then, a Kinzie Street bridge was already almost like a crime scene. There was tape up, there were fire boats in the river.
Could you see anything down there?
No, it's all strictly by feel.
The Army Corps of Engineers pumped 134 million gallons of water out of city basements.
We are not going to get into who is to blame, we will have, because we don't know as yet. This is a very serious problem. Don't make it funny.
I'm not making
Yes, you are.
Hey kids, let's put on a radio station.
WFMT, working that station was beautiful.
It's the best classical music station in the country.
This is WFMT Chicago.
70 years of WFMT. Bravo!
Next time on Jay's Chicago, 5 stories of life in nature. There's my own close encounter with an unnervingly large insect. This man knows the secret to seeing Chicago's amazing wildflowers. This high school student saw the most bird species in Cook County in a single year. And I suit up and join a Cook County Forest Preserve burn crew.
I'm Bonnie.
And I'm Josh.
And you're watching WTTW Chicago.
Programming that celebrates diverse voices on WTTW is made possible in part by Strategic Growth and Transformation Partners. Chicago Tonight, Latino Voices is made possible in part by Allstate, the Searle Funds at the Chicago Community Trust, and CIBC, and by the support of these donors.
Good evening and welcome to this special throwback edition of Chicago Tonight Latino Voices. I'm Brandis Friedman. Tonight we go to the archives for a couple of interviews we think you'll enjoy. First, superstar Rita Moreno's 2015 conversation with Phil Ponce. Then, with the White Sox poised for a deep postseason run, we go back to Bob Surratt's 2003 conversation with Ozzie Guillen on the day he was hired to manage the Sox, just 2 years before leading the Sox to a World Series win. In a moment, we go to Phil Ponce.
It is one of the most memorable moments and perhaps the most dazzling of movie musicals. Watch a few moments and you'll know what and who makes it so memorable. Rita Moreno is in town to present a City of Chicago 5th Star Award to author Sandra Cisneros tomorrow night. She also has a record coming out later this month, her first in 30 years. It is called Una Vez Más. And we are very pleased to welcome Rita Moreno to Chicago tonight.
Oh, thank you. You know, I love watching that movie. Oops, I'm looking at myself in the mirror. Sorry. I love watching that movie. I really do. And
when was the last
when
time
that
you
clip
watched
is shown,
it?
about a year ago
Yeah?
on the big screen, which is really special.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my.
You know, just watching that scene right now, I was thinking like,
I was loving
let's watch more. Let's watch more.
I loved it.
But when you were working on the movie, did you have any sense that it would become kind of a cultural marker? No.
You know, well, think of it this way. At that time,
came out in 1961.
Yeah. So when we were doing it was like 60. And what happened is that, you know, there was operatic singing in it. The young leading lady is singing in coloratura, in a coloratura voice. There were no fancy costumes. On the contrary, they were kind of drab. And And ours were colorful, but they were still not your average. There was no spangles, nothing like that. And the dancing was very unusual. It did not resemble anything that Fred Astaire ever did or Gene Kelly dreamed of. So we thought
jazz dance.
Jazz dancing. I know people think they call it modern, but no, it's jazz dancing. And people, you know, George and I, Chakiris, and I thought, well, nobody's going to come see this. I mean, when you're singing tonight.
You didn't think anyone would come see it?
Absolutely. In fact, I convinced George, and he was so depressed. He wanted to kill me.
But you did not consider yourself a dancer. In fact,
I've always been a dancer, but I was a Spanish dancer, you know, that kind of stuff, and castanets and heel work. That's what I did. I was not a jazz dancer. I didn't dream of it. So when I started to do I love looking at that. Isn't that great?
Yes, it is.
And it's so sassy. I love that. Look at that skirt go.
Oh
wow.
My gosh. But when you found out you had to audition for the dance part, I read that you ran out and...
I ran to the nearest dancing school, registered, and took class all day long for about 3 weeks. I had about that much time, and I still wasn't really ready. I mean, I hadn't danced in a very long time. And when I did the audition, I got very lucky because a friend of mine had played Anita on the road. A bus and truck of West Side Story, and she taught me some of the steps. And then I thought, well, now if I'm really lucky and God is good and, you know, it don't rain, maybe I'll be taught those steps to do. Because a dance audition is different from a singing audition. You bring your own music, you sing your own songs, and you're very secure. And the acting audition, again, you can take that to an acting coach and work on it till you memorize it. But a dance audition? Dance audition, you learn brand new steps there
on the spot.
Then on the spot, you learn them slowly, and then at a certain point, the assistant dance director says, okay, now perform it. Means the skirt, because he'd said bring a skirt, and it's the skirt and life and energy and joie de vivre and all that while you're trying to do brand new steps. Well, this girl had taught me some of the steps.
Oh my gosh.
And I had a heads up. And when Jerome Robbins called to ask him, his assistant, how did she do? And the guy said, well, it's obvious she hasn't danced in a while. He said, but she has verve, and she's audacious, and she's that, and she's funny, and she's energetic. But you know what's amazing about her? She learns so quickly.
Well,
so what's the lesson here? It pays to cheat? I don't know.
No, it pays to prepare. We have another memorable scene from West Side Story, and let's take a look at that one, too.
Okay.
Yeah!
And what's interesting is that I remember at one point when they did a close-up of me singing some part of the song that Natalie said, well, that wasn't good for me. Robert Wise said, well, it was good for Rita. And this is a close-up of Rita, so.
Oh, how did you get along with Natalie Wood?
Actually, well, she was kind of aloof, but I realized later that she was extremely uncomfortable in that role. She really did she felt that she was out of her element, and indeed, I think she was too. I mean, all the demands on her were just almost unfair. She wasn't a dancer, she wasn't a singer, she wasn't a musical person. So it was very rough on her, and unfortunately, I realized that a little too late because I kind of had harbored, you know, negative feelings about her, but I certainly understand now.
Who were you close to in the cast?
George Chakiris was my pal.
Yeah.
And the girl who says, I like the I Love Manhattan, I know you do. That was my dear friend Yvonne. And do you know that that's got so popular that they now insert it into that number wherever it's done, whether it's London, whether
the score doesn't call for it?
No.
Oh, really?
She just said that. She got inspired. She said, I know do, which I love because it is so sassy and so Latino. Line. Everybody now does that. Not half as good as her, but they do it.
Now, there's a scene, a famous scene, where you're in Doc's candy store, where you're attacked and nearly, quote, raped by members of the ongoing of the Jets. Yeah. I've read differing accounts of what that experience was like for you. What was that experience like?
What happened is that it opened some very old wounds. And this is one of those things where we rehearse this scene over and over and over and over. And getting called Spick and Garlic Mouth and Bernardo's Tramp just got to me at some point. And this is the scene right now that you're watching where it was maybe something like a 10th or 12th take, and I just burst into tears. And I went to the candy store counter and put my head down on my arms and just could not stop crying. I couldn't stop crying. And finally, the director, Robert Weiss, called an early lunch because I was beside myself. And, you know, I had no idea that those wounds were still so open and that I was still so tender. But I ran into that when I was a very young girl in New York City. I was being called a spick when I was a little bitty thing. You know, I was a little 5-year-old girl. And I didn't know what the word meant, but I saw the hatred in those children's eyes. And I knew that something was wrong with me. You know, when you're young, you're very tender. And if people even suggest that you don't have value, you believe it. You don't know why you don't have value, but you believe it.
Well, you must have really connected with the character of Maria then.
Absolutely.
I mean, the character of Anita.
I mean, I think it's why I got the part, despite the fact that I wasn't up to par with the dancing part. They just thought they'd beat it out of me, which they did. I mean, they really made me pay.
You know, when you think of the people who were part of the creative team, when you think of Leonard Bernstein, when you think of Steve Sondheim, when you think of Jerome Ramos, my gosh,
geniuses!
It doesn't get any better than that.
It doesn't get any better.
Was it daunting, or were you sort of not aware of all that?
Oh no, it was daunting. Are you kidding me? And also the other dancers, the young people, were number one, way younger than I. And I mean, I was 20, I don't know, 5, something like that.
And the dancers were what?
They were younger. They were, you know, nobody was a teenager. But actually, there were a couple of teenagers. We were all playing teenagers, which is... But it was daunting because they were fabulous dancers. Fabulous dancers. I was not a fabulous dancer. I was a terrific Spanish dancer. That's a whole nother country. It's a whole nother animal.
So, what are your enduring memories from West Side Story? When you think of that movie?
Great fun. I laughed a lot. I worked like a beast. I really worked. When the kids took the 5-minute breaks or the 10-minute breaks, and you know what dancers do when they have breaks? They light up a cigarette and sing. I was still rehearsing. I never stopped trying to get it right and or better because they were so far. I was so far removed in ability from them. It doesn't show, I know.
No, it absolutely does not show. It's a testament to your work. Your reaction when you won the Oscar for...
Unbelievable.
Yeah,
and that's what I said. It was the shortest speech in history. I said, I don't believe it. And there's a pause, and I said, good Lord. Another pause. I leave you with that.
Rock Hudson presented you the award.
Yes.
I watched it on YouTube this afternoon.
Yeah.
But look, you were in 2 other classic movies. You were in Singing in the Rain and
one of my favorites.
The King and I. What did you play in Singing in the Rain?
I played Zelda Zander, the little redheaded, supposed to be an actress, a star. And she's the one who gives away the secret that Debbie Reynolds is singing for Gene Hagen, the lead. And I have about 3 scenes in it, and I look so. I've always looked young for my age.
You look young for your age now, because you're.
Well, I do.
I mean, you're very candid about saying you're going to turn 84. You're 83 years old.
Yeah, in December it's going to be 84. But I've always had those kind of genes. So then, when you look at Singing in the Rain, I just look at myself. I think, oh my God, there isn't a line. There's nothing. It's like a smooth little characterless face.
And how about The King and I? What role did you play there?
I played Tuptim, the gift from Burma to the King of Siam. And she's the one who does The Small House of Uncle Thomas, the ballet. And she narrates that. It's a lovely part.
So tell us again why you're in Chicago this time around.
But this time, tomorrow I'm giving a wonderful honor to Sandra Cisneros, the poet and writer, famous for, among many other things, the house on Mango Street. And but let me tell you what I love about this. Aside from being a great admirer of her work, it just grooves me that my favorite city also takes care of and supports its artists. I don't know any other city that does this. This is wonderful.
Because you have a long history with the city.
I do.
Tell us about the Jefferson Award that you won.
The Jefferson Award I won for my performance in The Rose Tattoo, Tennessee Williams play.
And that was in 1968.
Yeah, and it was literally the first year that they were giving away this award. And after that, many years later, I came back with The Odd Couple with Sally Struthers, the female version, and I got the Sarah Siddons Award for that.
So Chicago has been very, very good to you.
Oh, it's been wonderful to me. And not only that, my husband went to medical school here 100 years ago, and Chicago Med, and I just love this city. He loved it too. My daughter loves it.
Well, let's talk about another aspect of your career, and that was you were warned at one point not to do a kids' television program.
The Electric Company.
And you famously went on to do The Electric Company. Why did you do it when people said don't?
Well, first of all, you have to know why they said don't. They said don't do a children's show. You will never be able to play an adult again. And which happened to a lot of people, by the way, who went on television, children's shows. There it is. There's Morgan Freeman. See Morgan? Irene Cara is in that little group.
And I did not know until I read, I should have realized this, but I didn't know that you had something to do with the famous opening line.
Hey, you guys. Yes.
Remind me how it goes.
How did you? Hey, you guys. I can't do it real loud. I'll bust the console, the sound console. But yes, I remember that it's Millie the Helper who always says that, and I was always working in those skits with Bill Cosby, who contributed a great deal to the show then. Now is something different, but then he just contributed a great deal to the show. And I was Millie the Helper with him. He was teaching me things. And he would say, hang on.
Okay,
I know what you're going to ask.
Yeah, of course.
But she had to say, hey, you guys, loud. And he kept saying, shh. I said, okay, hey, you guys. And I thought of Abbott and Costello when he would say, hey, Abbott. So that's how that started. And it resounded in all the public schools in America. The teachers were going nuts.
Everyone was saying, hey, you guys.
Everybody was yelling, hey,
Let's
you
not
guys.
dwell on it, but a beat on Bill Cosby since you brought him up.
Well, I'm very sad about it. I'm very sad about it. And what else can I say? It's a horrifying situation.
Your new album, you haven't done an album in some time. It's called Una Vez Más, which means once more. There's a new version of a famous song from West Side Story on it in Spanish.
It's a completely Spanish album. It's already on pre-sale at Amazon. And we're doing Somewhere, but in Spanish. Can I sing a little?
Yeah, please. Are you kidding?
No, the reason I want to is because it's, for some reason, and I think it has to do with the language, it's just more soulful in Spanish. It's like this.
Go ahead. Please.
Sé de un lugar difícil de encontrar, donde el silencio y la paz siempre vivirán. Does that sound beautiful?
It's wonderful. Rita Moreno.
It is.
I think you're going to go on forever. and we're the better.
Let me just say that this wonderful album comes out September 20. God, is it the 26th?
I can't wait to hear the rest of it.
Or the 25th. Anyway, it is available on Amazon, and it's all in Spanish. And Emilio Estefan produced it. And that's how it happened, because of him.
Rita Moreno, a pleasure to meet you.
A delight to meet you. Thank you.
Thank you.
So far, how do you like the part of the job that requires you to do 300 interviews in 1 hour?
I like to talk. You can tell. That's one of the reasons I have success with the fans and the media and the players. I like the communication. I think having fun. Last 2 weeks for me was unbelievable 2 weeks in my career. You know, win the championship here and talk to the people over there and finish up the year, baseball year, having managing job what I want to be when I want to be all my life. I say in the press conference 7 years ago, I hope I can wear this uniform for the rest of my life. And I say a couple minutes ago, I hope this be my last uniform to wear. And I'm happy to be back in Chicago.
How did you feel when you got the call that you got the job? What did you do? Describe your emotion at that moment.
I was real excited. I got that feeling because they called me 3 times. I got that feeling, but I know what for sure.
You had 3 interviews.
Well, kind of. Yeah, I got one with Jerry, one with Kenny, but then one with both. I feel real good. But other song, I say, wow, you know what you're doing. You know what you were going through. I prepared myself for that. But I was happy. My family was happy, especially because we come back to Chicago. And I think this job will happen somewhere else. I don't know how we will take it. But coming back home, coming back when I know everyone, the way I know what I respect from people, it's something real nice. I have people in the airport know what's going to come here, and they asked me, you get the job, and I couldn't tell anything because they told me don't say anything till you get there. And it was kind of hard for me, but it was enjoyable, and I like it.
You might not have taken a major league manager job with another club. You feel different about the White Sox, obviously.
I will, and I don't think if this thing happened with another team, or the thing I went through it, I will say thank you for your interesting, and thank you for letting me handle this. But I don't think I can do it because I have a great relationship with the Marlins. I had a great relationship with my players. I love those kids to death, everyone. Not because we win. I make sure people, not because we win, just because the character we have, the fun we have on the field and off the field. And it was hard for me to leave those kids.
It was pretty funny when Miguel Tejada threw that wild pitch, and then the next thing we see on television, you have a catcher's mask and you're giving signals from the dugout during the playoffs. That was especially at a time when the team was down.
Well, that's what us game is all about. I think you have to have more. You try to get. That's a harder thing to do when you have fun when you're not playing good, and you have fun when you're not winning. That's a time like when that happened. Nobody said anything in the dugout. All of a sudden, we turned around and Jack McKeown, he was laughing what I did, and all of a sudden it was like a party. I think I did it at the right time, but in another hand, I know I'm going to have a meeting with the White Sox after the series, and I said, wow, what is Kenny watching this? He think I'm a clown, or I don't care about the game, but I really don't care what they think about me. I know it was in that particular time, it was good for the team.
What is the secret to handling Frank Thomas?
No, how the secret Frank Thomas handled us again. I don't have to worry about Frank. I got 20, maybe in spring training I got to have 60 people. And all you guys ask me the same question. I think me and Frank, we got a great relationship. When I left the White Sox, Frank Thomas, he was a great man on the clubhouse, a great player, everybody knows, still a great player. I think Frank Thomas is a big puzzle in my team. The only thing I expect Frank to do is just play the game right, respect the game, come to this club, have fun. I want him to have fun. I want him to care about his team players. I want to care about his teammates. There's a lot of people look up to him in this clubhouse. There's a lot of people expect him to do good, especially myself. I think I'm gonna need help from Frank to get me what I want to get. I want to be a winner. Right now, maybe Frank retire in a couple of years, he thinks he's going to be a Hall of Famer. It's going to be hard for him without the ring. Mm-hmm. And it's easier to be a Hall of Famer when you play in the World Series. And I want him to help me to get through this thing. And the only way you're going to do it, play the game what I told you to play. And he's not willing to do it, the door's going to be open. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be a miserable summer for him. I know, just challenge him. I'm just make sure people know, misunderstand what I want to say. He just because is I got to get fired, I got to get fired my way. If you don't like the way I got to do it, well, the door is open.
And from where you sat during the series with the Cubs, what was the big turning point for the Marlins in that series, as you saw it?
Well, when we play home and we beat then a Sunday,
The Josh Beckett game?
Yes.
The first
but
victory
I think, oh my God, we have a chance. All of a sudden, we come to Chicago, we feel like we was the Cubs. We got the series win. And I talk to a couple guys, we had conversation. That's a good group of kids. They talk to each other. Say, hey guys, we don't have nothing to lose here. You know, we got Mr. Pryor, Mr. Wu, Mr. Sammy, Mr. Lowe. They're supposed to win. Just go there and have fun, because maybe this is going to be the last time you ever be a smelling playoff. You never know in this game. Just go. Then we beat Pryor the first time, and then when we beat Pryor, I said, wow, it's a lot of things happened to the Marlins. And I said, wow, look at this thing. That happened for us. You know, Jose Cruz dropped a couple balls in the outfield. Then Jeff Conine threw the guy out the plate. That happened to us all year long. And a lot of people blaming the guy about the ball, catch the ball, and all that stuff. But after that, we scored so many, you know, we scored like 6 runs. That's going to be the only second out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you
the
know,
foul ball.
Yeah, it's going to be the second out. After that, we scored a couple runs. But everybody forgot Mordecai's at bat. You know, everybody tried blaming Alex by missing the ground ball. That's part of the game, guys. That's wow, too bad happened to him, but that's part of the game. But everybody forgot about Mordecai's come from the bench. He's been playing 2 months. He got the big hit for us, and he did it twice during the season. I go back to the locker room and say, hey, boy, I think we have a chance. Mordecai hit that thing with Cole, and you're not supposed to get a base. You're not supposed to even playing.
Yeah.
And this one, everything started turning around for us here against the Cubs.
One more question. I don't know if you've had time to think about this yet, but are you going to be the kind of manager who kicks dirt on an umpire when he gets mad? Or are you going to go like right up to the umpire, you know, an inch from his nose? How are you going to be in arguments?
Well, you never go to argument. You're not going to win an argument with the umpires. I will respect them the way they respect me. I go out and argument by any play, and he answers the right way, and he'll be fine with me. But I had a bad attitude. A lot of people think I'm the JoJo cheerleader type of man. I can go I can keep plugging fire real quick.
Did you say you have a bad attitude?
Yes.
You do. You mean a temper? You mean a temper?
Real bad temper. Real
yeah.
bad temper. Real bad. But all the song, I can get real mad, and 2 seconds later, I'm just like nothing happened. I think I got to respect the umpire the way they have to respect me. But I want the umpires to respect my players. And I want the umpire, and I want my players to respect the umpires. And that's the way it is. Because you're not going to win anything without the umpires. When they don't like you, you will feeling.
You're going to be fun to watch. Good luck.
Well, I hope the guys play the way they should be playing and listen what I'm going to say. Because when you talk to the guys, they always think about, but I care about them. I worry about them. I will worry about them every day. Even when they do good, when they do bad, I will care about them. And hopefully they care about mine too.
And you like the music louder than anybody, don't you?
I tell you what. Before the game, they're not going to have music in the ballpark.
None?
Not. After the game, winning or lose, we're going to have music.
Okay.
So make sure when you're coming in, make sure you can do the interviews because they will have to respect you guys. But I will explain them why I don't like music before the game. Like I say, they don't like it. They have a lot of time to ask for a trade.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thanks.
We hope you enjoyed this special throwback edition of Chicago Tonight Latino Voices. I'm Brandis Friedman. Have a good night.
Closed captioning is made possible by Robert A. Clifford and Clifford Law Offices, a Chicago personal injury and wrongful death firm that supports free educational initiatives in the legal profession.
Are you not excited to be returning?